from Choose Spot for Art. I love sharing art from my heart and teaching you how to cradle or join your life through some fun, simple, and quick art projects. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Crafty Bunch. Have you been, oh, that scared me. That's twice I've been scared in like the last 32 seconds. Have you been watching today? Fun day. In the Crafty Bunch. So if you're watching on my page, hi and thank you. If you're watching in the Crafty Bunch, hi and welcome. Let me move these pens out the way. And I'm going to turn you guys around and we are going to get started. I didn't add my extra camera. 1 second. Unmirror that. Turn it on. Turn around. Okay. If you want this tracer, I'm going to pop it in the comments. Here we go. Applebee. There you go. This is 8.5 by 11. I have enlarged it to fit on this 11 by 14 canvas. I have a couple of spots missing. I don't care about that. I'll just pencil them in. I'm going to grab a piece of tape. Thank you, Mom P, and put it up there. So this is the tracer. I'm going to do a little Valentine Gnome. So I'm confused, you guys. It is 3 degrees out. It is January. Who's doing Valentine's? Who's doing spring? I mean, actually today I'm doing both because if you saw behind me when I started, I'm doing both. This morning I started out the day with painting big and spring. It was day 1 of my Paint Big challenge. Now I'm going back to Valentine's Day. Have you seen? So there I was missing the paper. I didn't really care. I just continued with my heart. Progress over perfection. It's all good. And I'm tracing in these hearts. I might go over them with marker. So when I paint the background, I'll still be able to see them. They all don't have lines, and there is a reason for that, or strings, I should say. They're balloons, because those lines you will probably not be able to see when I paint. So I'm just going to add them in when I get ready, when I'm done. I'm just going to add in the lines. I'm not going to trace all the hearts on the hat. There's no reason to. Do this foot, and then I'm going to do the little body, and it's going to swoop under here, and then I'm going to do this foot. Let me make sure I got everything. Oh, got a little bit of the beard here. Okay, now let's make sure I got everything. Yeah, looks good. Okay, I'm not going to do the hearts on his hat. There's no reason to. Maybe I'll put 1 heart. Maybe I'll put 3 hearts. Maybe I'll put 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 12 plus partial hearts. I don't know. We'll see. But as long as I have the basic design on here, we're good to go. All right, so let me put this stuff aside. And I am actually going to get out a T-square because I want a little line. Oh, there's my alarm to make sure I go live. Stop. I want a little line here. I'm going to get a pencil. And just there, and then there. It's going to be like he's sitting on his bottom on a table, the ground, whatever. Okay. Let me put my T-shirt back on my T-square and stick that over there. All right, let me get out some paint. I'm going to use some whites and reds. I am going to, you know what? I'm not going to worry about that. Okay, I'm going to get out some white. I'm going to get out, this is bubblegum pink. It's a really pretty pale pink. If I can get it open, it's almost empty. Okay. And then I'm going to get out, I think this is wild berry. Yep. A little bit of That sounds weird. So, you know, you've been painting a long time when you shake your paint and the noise it makes. Long Island in the house. Hey, Virginia. So, you know, you've been painting a long time when you shake your paint and it doesn't sound right. It didn't make the right noise. So I had to shake it a little more. That was weird. But I digress. Anyway, let me get a paintbrush. I'm using a 1-inch flat. I'm going to load it with white. I'm going to pick up some pink and we're going to start painting the background of this gnome. So just shout out how freezing cold it is where you live. Just shout it out. Shouting warms the heart. Maybe it'll warm you up a little bit. It was 14 degrees here today. However, I really shouldn't whine about it because I did not leave the house. So I'm just painting in the background. And this is a cute design. I want my background to be a little bit wispy. I'm picking up pink and white every time. So I said I scared myself. I have a gift bag here. I'm doing paint big. So I had day 1 today. I'm doing a spring design on a 12 by a 24 by 36 inch canvas. And I started it this morning. And I have a prize. I'm giving away a bag of art supplies. 4 bottles of paint, a set of 3 brushes, and a stencil. And so I brought the bag in here to show you guys, and it must have jarred or something, or I don't know what happened, but it fell. Something inside the bag fell and scared me. And I was like, "What?" You know, it's 13. It's 13 now. It got colder. So it scared me. But more importantly, when I was coming in here, I grabbed all my stuff. I'm like, okay, time to go live. Alarm's going to go off. I got to be ready for Mama P. And when I walked down the hallway, I have this side door that goes to like the side of the house outside. And I caught my reflection in it, whatever I was carrying. And I scared the dickens out of myself. I was like, "Wah!" I was like, oh, wait a second. There's nobody out there. That's me. I need to like chillax a little bit maybe or something. I don't know. So I'm just painting around. If you wanted to, you could paint everything and then go in. Sometimes I do that with the paint big that I'm doing this morning that I started today. Part 2 will be tomorrow night at 7. I did the whole background and then I will be adding on the umbrella with the flowers. But I did the background first. I did not trace the design on. I may even hand draw it. It's an umbrella. I think I might be able to manage hand drawing in an umbrella. We'll see. But sometimes I will do my whole background first. Sorry, I was thinking. Sometimes I'll do my whole background first, and then other times I trace it on first. It doesn't matter. The difference is I could have done my background, then I would have had to dry it, then I would come back and trace on the image or draw it on or whatever, but it would have to be dry in order to do that, to put the image on. So whatever, it's just easier this way. Hey, Lydia! I'm going to do my edges. I'm just using the same pink. This is bubblegum pink and white that I have on my brush. And I'm going to do the top 3 edges. So how was everyone's day today? Busy day in the Crafty Bunch. Did you guys see Michelle? And who else? I see a little gnome. Yes, you do see a little gnome. Good day in the Crafty Bunch. It was a nice day when you're inside. Or even if you're after work, you're going to take a little break. It's nice to just turn on the Crafty Bunch and get a little inspiration, a little art therapy, right? Let me put that down. My lips are chapped. I'm going to put on a little bit of, what are these? Oh, these EOS. Does anybody ever use these EOS lip balm things? They're really good. And this one's like a fruity one. I like it a lot. Okay. So I did that part. Now I'm going to go down to the bottom, and I want to make the bottom a little bit darker. So I picked up some of this wild berry. I didn't even wash my brush. And now I have the light pink and the wild berry. And I'm painting that in across the bottom. I go over my pencil mark here. There's going to be a lot of pink going on this. I had it in person last night. We did a gnome couple at a library. It was a ceramic. And there were two friends that came together to the library party, to the library painting thing. And one of them, her gnomes were like screaming Valentine's Day. Red and pink and hearts. And she just couldn't make it more, she couldn't have made it more Valentine-y. It was so totally Valentine-y. And then her friend who she was with was just doing winter gnomes. She made them blue and gray and added snowflakes to them. And so she was calling her the anti-Valentine person because her gnomes couldn't have been less Valentine's-y than the friend who was like all over the Valentine with the hearts everywhere. Everything was pink, red, and hearts. Okay, so I wanted the bottom to be a little bit darker, and I got that. If there's a little bit too dark. And I'm going to let it dry a little bit because I want to even add a little bit darker of a shadow underneath. But if I keep working it, it's just going to keep blending. So I'm going to let that wait, and I'm going to wash my brush. Busy and miss of you creatives. Our doctor doesn't like the errand grands. Oh, the grands over for dinner tonight. That's always fun. How many grands are there, Lid? Do I have events at? I have events at libraries probably weekly. Different libraries. I live on Long Island. It's a pretty populated area. And I teach and do paint events at a number of libraries. Anyway, so if you want this tracer, this is what it looks like. Here it is. I put the link up above and you can get it and paint your own Valentine gnome with little conversation hearts. All right. I have white. I'm going to switch to a smaller brush though. That I'm going to do. This one, I think. Nope, not this one. Where's my other? Here it is. This is the one I was looking for. So I'm just going to get some white and probably a little bit of black. Just a little bit. Okay. And I'm going to pick up a little bit of black, and I'm just going to start base coating in my beard. Not my beard. I don't have a beard, but my gnome's beard. Pick up a little bit more white because I did a little too much black, but that's okay. Because this is only the first step in the gnome. Anyway, I come down here. I'm going to fill in all the beard part. And this is just a base coat. We're going to add details. We're going to add shading. We're going to add highlighting. This is just our base coat. Just get started. Get the paint where it needs to be. All right. I'm going to wash my brush. I'm going to get out a little red. 6 grands. I watched Charlie, who's 4 on Wednesday, and had her parents over with Logan and I love. First of all, I love those names. Second of all, congratulations. And now, not to be a crazy person, but is Charlie a little girl or a little boy? because I have a girlfriend named Charlotte, and she could go by Charlie. And I do know little girls with Charlie. Actually, if you know what's her name, um, the social easel, not the social easel, Tamara Bennett from Door Hangers, Southern Adornment, her little girl is named Charlie. So it is possible. And actually, I have two girls. And if you think about it, I'm going to paint this glove over here. Both my girls have boy names, kind of. My one daughter's name is Sydney. And if you think back to back in the day, the name Sydney would have been it's a girl. Oh, it is a girl, see? The name Sydney would have been a male name. And then my other daughter's name is Samantha, but she goes by Sam. And so they're basically boy names. I wanted to name my girls boy names. Okay, I'm going to wash my brush again. I like the name Tony and the name Stevie for little girls, actually, too. All right, I'm going to go back to my white, and I'm going to base coat my hat in with white. Now, you don't, I mean, some people don't, I mean, if you really were pressed for time, you wouldn't have to paint your base coat white on your hat. I feel like, yes, I know the canvas is white, but it feels unfinished to me if it's not painted. And there's lots of people, oh, the canvas is white. What do you have to paint it for? I don't know. You just do. I know there's no art police, and you do you, and nobody's going to come to your house and say, you didn't paint the canvas, but I have to paint the canvas. So anyway, this morning I started Paint Big. I'm painting a 24 by 36 inch canvas. It's behind me. Today was day 1, and then that was at 10, and tomorrow night at 7 will be day 2 when we add the umbrella to it. It is a spring design. All right. What do you guys think so far? Now I have to do something to the hat. And I'm trying to decide what. I'm trying to get a lot of pink and a lot of my balloons, my conversation heart balloons are going to be all different colors. So that'll bring different colors into here. So I could just stick with the red and the pink. I'm doing a second coat on my red. Red, sometimes, I don't know if you guys have ever noticed, red, orange, yellow, they all tend to be a little bit translucent. So there we go. I did the second coat. While I'm wondering what I'm going to do with my hat, I'm going to come over here to this wild berry, and I'm going to paint in the pumpkin. Where did I get pumpkin from? I'm going to paint in the heart that he's holding. I'm painting in everything that might be under the beard, because you're going to see when I'm going to now finish the beard, I like my gnome's beard to be really wispy and unkept. So I will paint everything that's going around it first, because then when I come back in with the beard, it's going to be like real unkept, and it's going to go over the clothes, it's going to go over the heart he's holding, stuff like that. So I like to get in anything that he's holding that's around the beard first. This way, when I get to the beard, I can just be as crazy as I want to with the whiskers and they will overlap everything. We're painting in the little shoes here. Our painting goes in layers. We paint from the bottom layer up. I need a little bit of something, something for the nose. I have fawn out. I might as well just do a little bit of fawn and white. It's here. Don't need that much. I'm going to pick up some white. I'm going to pick up some fawn. And I'm going to paint in the nose. We will go back and we will add some highlighting and some shading to all of this after we get everything base coated in. Okay. I think I'm going to do this part of the hat here red. And then maybe I'll give them some red stripes or some red hearts. Should I do stripes or hearts? Here we go. Maybe I'll do a little bit of both. Maybe I'll do a couple of stripes, but then we'll put like, I want to use this brush. Where's it? This brush. I'm going to use this brush on my stripes. We'll put a couple of stripes, and then maybe we'll put a heart. And I don't want the stripes to just go straight. I want them to have a little bit of curve to them and have a little bit of some character. So we're going to like, as inchworming my way, hearts. I'm also following the curve of the hat. So I'm making these little curves, but I'm also going with the curve of the hat. Okay. And then I'll stick with my red and we'll put a big heart here. So we'll put one there, and then we can add a few here. And see what I'm doing? I'm just using my brush and I'm squishing it down, and I'm just making like these little V's. And they're not perfect hearts, but they're fun and whimsy hearts. And you know they're hearts. And it's all good. I'm going to come over here. I'm going to put a pom-pom at the end of the hat. I could have put something hanging down, but I'm going to put a pom-pom. So I'm just pulling out strokes from the middle of the hat, from the middle, and just going out. Light strokes going out in every direction. I'm going to pick up the darker pink. It's got this big pom-pom. Then we'll let that dry a little bit, and I will come back to that and I will add some white to it. Thanks, Virginia. Okay. Just waiting for my nose to dry a little bit. But I can start base coating in, while I wait for my nose to dry, I can start base coating in my conversation hearts. So I have this beautiful, this is actually a folk art color. It is one of my favorite colors, fire coral. It's peachy. I have this little bit of Deco Matcha, which I'm going to add a little bit of white to make it more of like a minty green. I have a little bit of light blue, and I have this yellow ochre. So I'm going to use a different one. So my conversation hearts are all going to be like very soft and pastel-y. Okay. I can use this brush. Let me turn it around so I'm not putting my arm in my painting. And I think we're going to start with this one up here. So we have this green. It's called matcha green. I added a little bit of white to it. And we're just going to base coat this one in. I'm going to go back and add the shading to all of them at the same time. Okay, so we have that. I'm going to get this coral. I'm going to add a little bit of white to the coral too. And come in here, we're going to paint this coral one. Isn't that such a pretty color, you guys? It's one of my faves. And all these colors are very soft, pastel looking, chalky looking, and I think they're just perfect for the conversation hearts. I'm going to get a little bit of this baby blue with some white. Now that one is a little bit under, so I just had to cut it off a little bit there. I think we'll put the yellow one down here. Get a little bit of white for that. Okay, and then I had the one more color. I think I'm going to use this one. A little bit of white. This is the one that I used on the bottom. I'm going to use a little bit more white in it though to get it a little bit lighter. I don't want it to blend in with the background. I want it to be its own variation of pink. Okay. So cute. So cute. All right. Let me wash my brush. And I'm going to add shading to one side of each of these, but I have to do it with different colors. Okay. So let me switch brushes too. I'm going to start with the top one. I'm going to take a little bit of this red and I'm going to add it to my green over here. And I'm going to darken up the green. Maybe pick up a little bit of white. You want it a little bit darker. I'm going to come in here. Let me get a decent point on my brush. And Okay. That's the one now. Just give him a little bit of shade to the outside corner. Let me wash my brush. I'm going to move on to the peach. I think I'm going to get a little bit of this wild berry and mix it with the peach color over here. Get a little bit darker and come in here. And add a little bit of shade there to the peach one. Okay. The blue is going to be tough. I'm going to add the tiniest bit of black to the blue. Make like a really, really deep gray. And add my shade here to the blue. Oh. Okay. Then we have the yellow on the bottom. I'm going to try and do the yellow, maybe with some of this. That's not going to work. Well, yeah, it actually did darken it up a little bit. So I mixed a little bit of this fawn I had on my plate that I used for the nose with the yellow. And I'm going to do the shading now on the yellow one. Okay, I'm just adding shading to the hearts. And then we have this one. I think I need a little red. I'm going to add a little bit of red to some of this berry over here. Darken up the berry. So this is working for two reasons. First reason is that I added white to all my colors before I painted the hearts. So that lightened up the colors for my hearts a little bit. Okay. Then I went in and added a little bit of dark color. So to the green, I added red. Red's a good color if you want to get a darker green, or green to red is good if you want to get a darker red. So I added a little bit of red to the green. I added a little bit of red to the peach. I added a tiny, tiny bit of black to the blue. I added some tan to the yellow. And then I added a little bit of red over here to the berry. And now I'm going to roll my liner brush and I'm going to do the white highlighted side. And this is what I mean when I say base coating is one thing, but then when you come back in and you start adding in all the little details, that's when your painting really starts to pop. Okay. I'm just adding a little white line on the opposite side of where I did the shaded side. Okay. All right. Now I'm going to stick with my white and I'm going to give some white highlights to the shoes, the hand, the nose, the hat rim. Okay. I'm going to add in some white to the pom-pom. Now that the pom-pom is dry, I can pull in some white here and it'll not change color. It'll stay nice and bright. Okay. So far, so good. I'm going to go back to this smaller brush. I'm going to pick up some white paint just on the edge of this brush. Picking up a little bit of white. I'm going to come over here. I'm going to wipe it off. I'm going to come back to my beard. And I'm going to start dry brushing in his beard. And this is what I meant about when it, wipe it off, when it can go over, pick up a little bit. This could be a little tedious because you don't want to put too much paint on your brush. You want to be able to see the gray through. Oh, I just picked up a little bit of red with that. I don't know who's up and if Mama P's still here. If you guys are watching on the Crafty Bunch, if you just refresh your page, our next artist will be up. If you're watching on my page, I will put the link to the Crafty Bunch, but it's just the Crafty Bunch Facebook page, and you can head over there and watch the next presenter. And again, so now I'm doing the beard, and I was saying before, when I do the beard, I like for it to go over the clothes a little bit, over the shoes. That's why I do everything else first. Wipe off my brush. Sometimes I'll even use my brush on the chisel edge, and that is this part of the brush, the stand-up part. And this way we can make a little bit longer strokes. But I want to be able to see the gray through it. I don't want to cover up the entire gray that we painted under his beard. And every time I pick up paint, I wipe my brush off on the edge of my plate. This is dry brushing, so you have the slightest bit of paint on your brush. Hi, Carol. Nice to see you. It's been a while. Sometimes it can take a little bit of time. You have to have some patience with this. Honestly, though, what do I always say? You can't mess it up. It's acrylic paint. You can fix anything. If I sat here and was like, la di da di da, wait, I'm at 8 Eastern. You're at 8. You're up next, Lydia? At 8? No, that can't. I think we have 45 minutes. No, I don't know. I don't want to tell you wrong, but I'm excited to see what you paint. Anyway, you can fix anything with acrylic paint. So if I was sitting here and I was talking to Carol and I was telling her about how I scared myself before with the door, and laughing and painting, and before you knew it, I had way too much white on my beard. I know you keep missing me, but here I am. I'll be back tomorrow night at 7 working on my Paint Big, 7 p.m. Eastern. Oh, 8:15, so you're 2 more after me. Okay. So if I was here and I was like, la-di-da, so what's new, Carol? How cold is it? And I had like way too much. I need a little bit of fresh white. I'm beating around the bush here. Then you just go back in and you do the same thing as I'm doing now, but with gray paint. And just add some gray paint back into your beard. It is acrylic paint. You can fix anything. So picking up some paint, wipe it off. I know it sounds counterintuitive, but sometimes you just have to do it. And sometimes I hold my brush on the flat, and then sometimes I hold it straight up and down. And like I said, it's cold in Arkansas. Did you get snow? Because I think they got snow in Alabama. It's unheard of, you guys. It's just crazy. My daughter lives in Nashville, and it was colder in Nashville last week than it was here. And I could just sit here and add whisker after whisker. It's like It's like I'm giving him a hair transplant. Sorry, I meant cute gnome. Thank you. It's like, what are those when you get, I don't know what they do with their plugs, but with women get eyelashes, it's like one little tedious eyelash at a time, one at a time. That's how I feel sometimes when I do these beards, that I can just be like, oh, he needs a little whisker here and a little whisker there. Oh, and a little one over here. And it's not scruffy enough. And yeah, I could just sit here, not this time, but we had it 2 weeks ago. Yuck. Okay. I'm going to put my brush down for my beard. I only have 5 more minutes anyway. I want to put in my strings here. I may have to continue and finish my words in my conversation hearts after, but at least I'll put in my strings and you guys can get the gist of it. Doesn't that just kind of like tie it all together? Okay, conversation with Jessica. I know they are, right? Okay, I did my strings. Got a couple more minutes. I am going to pick up a little bit of white on this same brush. And I'm just going to come in here and I'm going to just add a little bit of highlight on top of the string. Just to the one side, not too much. I don't want to pick up the black like I just did, but that's what I get for being impatient. Just a little bit of white up here. Yeah, so I will have to come back, or I'm going to stay and finish, but you guys can hop on. If you're watching on the Crafty Bunch, you can hop on and watch our next artist. And then up at 8:15 tonight is painting by Lydia. Doing a little bit of highlight around the shoes. And do a little highlight around one side of the heart. I'm going to come down here. I have the white on my brush, but I'm picking up some of this berry. And I remember before I wanted to tell you it was just going to keep blending. I'm adding in a little bit of a shadow down here under his bottom. I want to be very wispy. Thank you, thank you, thank you. So now we could wait for this to dry, and if you were painting this and you got the tracer from me and you wanted to have some fun with it, we could wait for this to dry, and then we could come in with a Sharpie or a paint pen and add in the little sayings on our conversation hearts. Totally up to you. I think I'm going to add them with my little brush and just wing it. But just know that if you wanted to not do it now and wait for your painting to completely dry, you could come back in with a Sharpie or a paint pen. I just started the junk journal things, Capri. I haven't shown any yet, but I've done a few pages. I will be showing them. So I'm going to use my brush and I'm going to paint stuff into my conversation hearts. But if you're not comfortable doing that, it's okay to use a paint pen or a Sharpie. Again, right? There's no paint police. Nobody's going to come and tell you what you can and can't do. I just added a little bit of white on top of there. I'm also going to do a little bit of a white highlight on some of my hearts. Okay. All right. I am going to switch brushes, though. I'm going to get this little liner brush. All right. So, get my feet up here. All right. I'm going to start with this one down here. And these are on the tracer. So if you wanted to copy them from the tracer, you could. I didn't trace them on. Because I didn't know if I was going to get to them or not, or paint them or not. But you could trace them right on off the tracer. I put 4 in here, but then I left 1 blank. I have Love Bug, True Love, Be Mine, and Cutie Pie. So you can do whatever you want on yours, or leave them. The thing is, when you're lettering with a brush, you have to lift it all the time. It's like 1 stroke, 1 line at a time. You can't really change directions with the brush like you would with a pencil. So it's the top, then it's the bottom, then it's the top. So you're always kind of like swishing it around. So in order to do the R, I had to do 1 side and then the other. The same thing with the U. You can't do a complete U like that. You have to do 1 and then come back and meet it on the other side. Okay. Oh, yes, you're right. Alphabet stamps would work much better. But you know what? It's fine. I'm not going for perfection. We're hanging out. Everyone knows what they are. We can read them. So I'm happy with the way they're turning out. I mean, this is just a cute, fun, for fun painting anyway, right? Let's see, am I going to be able to put Cutie Pie in here? You hear how much quieter I get when I have to like concentrate? Ah, see, I missed a letter. Oh, you know what I'm going to do? I did miss a letter. This is supposed to say Cutie Pie. So I'm going to change it. I don't think I can. Uh-oh. I might have to paint over that one. I was going to make that be a little S, but it wasn't working. My brush wasn't working. Oh. Okay. I'm going to take my rag. I'm just going to dry my paint off. Okay. And I'm going to paint over it. I'm going to see how it fixes. Wrong one. It's the green. Okay, pick up some white and just blend this in now. I might have to go over my cute as well, but that's okay because now it's under there and I will be able to see it. See, I told you. Can fix anything. I'm even going to fix this because now that dried, I wasn't liking the color. So look at that. I fixed my shading and then I was able to come in here and fix this heart. Now I'm going to have to wait for it to dry before I can add the lettering. Okay, but we have that. Thank you, everyone. Have I showed you guys my new signature yet? I finally came up with a signature for my paintings. Okay, so I do a lowercase t, and then I connect the lowercase g and put a top on it. That's how I'm going to sign my paintings from now on. Isn't that cute? I think it's cute. Anyway, I'm going to let that dry. So let me turn you guys around. Thank you. Oh, so cute. Thank you for joining me. If you want the tracer, the link is above. If you want to watch me, oh, there it is. There it is, you guys, right there, painting big. That is the background that was part 1, background for my painting big. Part 2 is tomorrow night at 7 p.m. Eastern. And this right here is a bag of goodies. Lisa is on. This right here is a bag of goodies that you can win. 7 o'clock tomorrow night. Let's all go watch Lisa Boone. Thank you guys. Have a great night.